Yo, welcome to the show, BroMob. I'm your host, Chad. Bryan's not here because he's a loser, and we are recording a mini episode, what he likes to call microsodes. So sit back, prepare yourself for some great information because it's coming your way. Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about in this show. Taysom Hill cheat coded for a lot of teams. Joe Burrow hurt. Rookie running backs just tearing it up. So without further ado, I'm just going to get right into it, guys. But first, be sure to follow along after the show by following us on Twitter and Instagram at FF Bros Podcast. Listen to us every single week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, The Gambit. We're pretty much everywhere that you can find podcasts, guys. Check us out. Be sure to subscribe so that you're the first people to listen to these juicy episodes every single week. And also be sure to just check out the website, thefantasyfootballbros.com, for all kinds of articles, rankings, so much more. BroMob. We're going to get right into it, starting with our top 3 stories of the week. Starting off, Taysom Hill. Like I said, this guy was an absolute cheat code. I called it last week. I thought for sure that Jameis Winston was going to get the start. Ended up that Taysom Hill got the start. A lot of people got upset. I get it. He probably should have never had the tight end designation to begin with, but alas, he did. And if you were smart enough to pick him up before this whole thing happened, you got yourself some good points this week. So kudos to you. I don't care about moral victories, guys. Get those victories. You're trying to get into the championship game at the end of the day, and you're trying to win your league. So Taysom Hill. The thing is, though, he's not going to be a tight end going forward. ESPN has removed that designation. He's now a quarterback for good, but I don't care. So Taysom Hill is going to be an absolute monster at quarterback for the remainder of the season, so long as Drew Brees doesn't play. So those games that Brees isn't playing and Taysom Hill is still the starter, I want every bit of that. So let's say, for example, you have Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, or you're rolling with somebody who's just kind of been up and down lately, and they're kind of just in the middle of the pack, getting you enough points. Taysom Hill, I'm starting over them all day long just because of his rushing floor. His rushing abilities give you that high-end floor as opposed to other quarterbacks out there like Phillip Rivers, who's doing well, but not well enough for you. You know what I mean? So Taysom Hill, I love him rest of the season, so long as Drew Brees doesn't ever come back. But even with the games that Drew Brees isn't playing, I like Taysom Hill. So keep him in your lineups if you can. Joe Burrow, rookie sensation, first overall pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. Gone for the season with a torn ACL, torn MCL, and sounds like even more structural damage to that knee. Ouch, both literally and metaphorically to the team. This is, and even metaphorically to your team, if you have Joe Burrow, or any players on the Bengals, because I am moving on from all of them. I don't want T. Higgins. I don't want Tyler Boyd. I don't want AJ Green. Definitely don't want Joe Mixon, who's not going to be around for a little bit now. Gio Bernard isn't going to look good. This whole offense is going to look much different. It's going to be a lot more conservative. They're pretty much just going to, I think, going to give up because Joe Burrow just isn't. He is an elite talent for that team, and there is going to be a big downfall for them. So it hurts to see him go. Whole league is devastated by it, and it hurts fantasy too. So try to move on from T. Higgins and people like that, guys. And then finally, rookie running backs just absolutely tearing it up. One in particular, though, Antonio Gibson, running back of the Washington football team. Look, Antonio Gibson, I'm going to say it. My brothers told me this before. I haven't believed them. I called them bogus and everything like that. But for rest of season, Antonio Gibson is a top 10 running back. Put it on the board. This guy is going to absolute tear it up. He's getting more and more carries in the offense. He's getting more and more carries at the goal line. And he's getting used in the passing game a little bit more. He's not getting J.D. McKissick passes. This guy's getting double-digit passes. But he's getting worked in there. Antonio Gibson's good for PPR, half PPR, standard. I don't care what league you're in. He's good for your fantasy team. If you got him, kudos to you. Don't trade him away in this last week here. Keep him on that roster and prosper. I mean, this is a type of guy who I personally believe is a league winner. He could give you some very, very good outputs here. I think he's better than Clyde going forward. I think he's better than Jonathan Taylor going forward. He's definitely better than James Robinson, who has one of the hardest schedules for running backs. So my eyes, this is the best rookie running back for the remainder of the season. So Antonio Gibson, if you could flex him as your third running back, that's awesome. Get in your lineup. This is great. He's going to have a really good season. All right, BroMob, that is it for our top 3 stories. Let's get into my love and hates for the week. Ooh, week 12, awesome. Look, there's no bye weeks. No teams are on bye. So this is wonderful. Your team's, so long as it's healthy, it's a full go. And week 12, week 13, week 11, these are the weeks you're usually playing against your division conference mates. So this is the time to have a good, healthy team and a team that's not on bye. So it's good to have those. Hopefully you got some players in there that can help you get to that championship game, BroMob. But if you don't, I got some names to help you out here. Starting off with quarterback, I'll give you my love for the week.
Love.
That is Joe. Nope. That is Justin Herbert. Jesus. Justin Herbert of the LA Chargers. This guy's been lighting up all year, putting up 30 bombs, putting up 40 bombs, consistently putting up 20s. I don't see anything changing. I think he's possibly even the quarterback one this week going against Buffalo, who just lets everybody pass against them, similar to like the Seahawks and the Cowboys and the Vikings. This is going to be an absolute bomb fest between him and Josh Allen. I want every bit of it. If you got Justin Herbert and he's sitting behind someone like Aaron Rodgers or he's sitting behind somebody like Matt Ryan, I would get him in there right now because he's going to have a great week.
Hate.
And I hate, Bryan's been on this bandwagon for a while. I'm going to stick with it with him. Lamar Jackson against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's hard to hate this guy because he's so electric and he's so talented on the ground, and he's just having some struggles in the passing game. I believe I have an answer to that. Madden curse. I'm putting it out there now. This whole Madden curse, it's destroying him, much like it did Alvin Kamara last year, where Kamara was just the number 12 running back on the season as opposed to what he is right now, which is what he's been in the past. So if you're Lamar Jackson manager in Dynasty, don't let go of him now. Next year, I bet he's back on the uproar. If he's not, then next year, or if you're not in Dynasty, you're just in redrafts, I'd be targeting this guy in later rounds because he'll drop quite a bit with all that sour taste. So Lamar Jackson this week, though, I don't like Pittsburgh Steelers defense. This is for real. They are the for real defense. This team is great. The only thing I like is the fact that they score so many points and it lets opposing offenses, they want to score more. So I like Lamar Jackson in that aspect that he's got an opportunity to score some points, but not against this defense. So I'm moving on. Running backs.
Love.
I love Miles Sanders this week against Seattle. And the reason is Seattle's kind of a middle of the pack rush defense, right? So why do I love him? Because Carson Wentz continues to put boneheaded, bogus plays out there, throwing interceptions. Doug Peterson's now come out and said that, look, it's not going unnoticed, and it's definitely not okay that this is happening. I think they come out with a little bit more of a conservative, maybe a run-based offense. And Miles Sanders, if you've been watching the guy, he's been electric. I mean, he's averaging 5 yards per carry, sometimes 6 yards per carry, and he's looking great. So I like Miles Sanders this week. I think he gets touchdown. He gets anywhere from 80 to 90 yards on the ground, if not more, and he gets used in the passing game. Maybe he gets 5 catches in this game for 40 yards, maybe even a touchdown. So I love Miles Sanders. Get him in those lineups.
Hate.
And I hate the rookie running backs. I mean, I was just talking about them. This one I hate this week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire going against Tampa Bay, one of the top 3 rushing defenses in the league. Clyde hasn't been uber efficient, and he's been splitting carries with Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, however, hasn't been as big of an impact to Clyde, but Clyde also hasn't been an absolute steal of a player every single week this past week. Notwithstanding, he had a great week this past week, but other than that, he's been seeing less than 10 carries a game and under 15 touches per game. So I think that continues this week with a shootout between Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, who just got embarrassed this past week by Jared Goff, so much so that he just walked off the field without shaking hands. Poor sportsmanship there, but I think he comes out and he starts lighting it up, and Pat Mahomes does the same. So I don't like Clyde for that reason. Let's get the wide receivers.
Love.
I love Will Fuller. This guy's been lighting up all year. He's got great connection with Deshaun Watson there. And they're going against Detroit, who can't guard anything. This is a terrible defense. This is a terrible team in my eyes. And Will Fuller doesn't slow down against this defense. I just see lots of good things coming from Will Fuller this week during Thanksgiving. So, yeah, I like that. Sit back, eat some turkey, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can because it's going to be good.
Hate.
And then I didn't want to put this on just one name. I hate all San Francisco wideouts this week. That's Deebo Samuel if he plays. That's Brandon Ayuk if he plays. That's Richie James if either one of those two doesn't play. I don't like any of these guys because they're going against the Rams. This defense is for real. Ramsey is for real. Everything is for real here. This is just disgusting. And it's still Nick Mullins at quarterback. So I don't like any of those guys. I think if you have them, they're typically your flex play. I'm going to leave them out of the flex and look elsewhere for this position. Will Fuller, maybe you can get in your flex. That would be nice. But I don't like any of these guys. Stay away from them. Me no likey. Tight ends.
Love.
I love Evan Ingram. Against Cincinnati, this is one of the worst defenses against the tight end, and Evan Ingram has been showing a nice connection with Danny Dimes over the past few weeks. Not last week, of course, with the bye, but over those last few weeks, he's been averaging anywhere from 4 to 8 targets a game, if not more. And I like that. I mean, if you got a tight end, you want targets, right? And especially now that he's starting to see some targets in the end zone and the red zone, equates to touchdowns, equates to points, equates to good weeks. Equates to me liking Evan Ingram. Get him in your lineups. I like him a lot.
Hate.
And then finally, I hate Jimmy Graham going against the Green Bay Packers, who are one of the toughest defenses in the league against tight ends. And I don't know if you know this, but Jimmy Graham, I know he's a top 10 tight end right now. I get it, but that's not saying much because he's not doing much. This offense is atrocious. They're not going to do well. The only thing I could see, similar to Lamar Jackson, Green Bay ups the score quickly, and the Bears have to try and outscore them at an alarming rate throughout the game. So Jimmy Graham, I just don't like the risk there. I think the floor is I think both his floor and his ceiling are low in this game. For that reason, I'm out. Shark Tank. What? All right. That is it for my love and hates, BroMob. Let's get right into this week's streamers.
This week's streamers.
At quarterback, I've got Derek Carr. Bring in the Carr. Going against Atlanta. They're in Atlanta. This is one of the worst defenses in the league, especially against the pass. We just saw what Taysom Hill did against them, and he's not even the greatest passer in the world. Derek Carr, on the other hand, has been extremely efficient. Has been great against good defenses, and he's got a good receiver. I wouldn't say a good receiver core, but a decent enough one that he finds the open receiver. So I like what's going on there. I think he's having a good week against Atlanta. You could do much worse. I mean, he's out there in only 48% or 48.7% of leagues he's managed. So he's available. So go grab him if you can for your streamer this week. I think it's a great stream. And then finally, the defensive stream of the week. I've got the New York Giants going against the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, I said Joe Burrow, he's out. It's devastating to him, to the team, to the league, to your fantasy teams. But it helps your fantasy team if you pick up the New York Giants defense who's going against them. This is actually a decent defense. Been good at getting sacks, turnovers, and holding offenses to lower scoring games. And I just see a lot of that happening with a backup quarterback that hasn't seen any playing time all season. So New York Giants defense, they're only managed in 21.6% of ESPN leagues out there. So they're available, guys. Go put your claims in, get them in your lineups, and beat your Week 12 rival, and hopefully solidify that playoff appearance. So BroMob, again, I can't thank you enough for stepping in here and listening to this microsode, as Bryan loves to call them. They're just short mini episodes, but we're hitting you with a lot of information, quick, great information. And luckily Bryan's not here, so it's great information. It makes sense and it's good and it's not bad like Bryan is. So BroMob, for direct and guaranteed start and sit advice, head over to jointhebromob.com for all of that. I mean, we're out there answering questions on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok these days, all over the place. So if you go to jointhebromob.com and become a BroMobster today, it's a $2 donation. You get first dibs at all questions and any answers that are out there from us. So go out there, check it out, jointhebromob.com. And BroMob, that's going to be it for this week's episode. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday to stay up to date on the fantasy football world and to gather any insights on how to dominate your fantasy football leagues. If you're not listening to us on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing. You come on over to YouTube, check us out. We got some great video content here. We got a lot of little ins quirks that go on and out. You can see what Brian and I are talking about sometimes whenever we're talking about pictures or random. Last week, I think we were talking about the Dodge Ram out of nowhere. So just pictures like that. It's great. It's a good time. So check us out on YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube and you're looking for us on your podcast and your phone, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, The Gambit. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure you get those juicy notifications letting you know that the episode's dropping this week. And finally, BroMob, be sure to follow along after the show by following us on Twitter and Instagram at FF Bros Podcast. And check out the website, thefantasyfootballbros.com, for all kinds of news, articles, so much more. We will see you next week, and happy Thanksgiving. Eat some turkey and get some sleep. Take care.